And with that, welcome to Love My Shadows. As you might have noticed, the atmosphere is spooky because this is a TsukiYamaKageHina Halloween special. Just my favorite holiday of the year. Anyway, it's not gonna be as spooky as the mood right now seems, so if you have problems with horror, don't worry, that's not part of it. However, I hope you will like it. Let's go. Does he really have to go? He's still so young, and you know how important it is to stay close to the hive. I know that it's important not to draw attention. Honey, I understand your concern, but he is old enough. Every human his age leaves the nest, and if he stays behind, it'll be much riskier. I know. It's just... cats get lost all the time, especially shortly after leaving. I don't want this to happen to Tadashi. What if he's not ready? He has to be. His mother's voice was strained. An ancient pain resonated within her words. He was well aware of the pains and worries, knew of the risks and dangers simply existing brought to the table for a demon. Many children never made it past the age of 12, not yet being able to control their transformations fully. And even fewer survived the stage known as the first flight. It was a poetic name for throwing them into the cold waters of an unforgiving world that is out to hunt you. Many had tried to simply keep their cubs at home for as long as they could, but the hunters were trained to spot such nests and communities. It often resulted in the death of entire families and bloodlines. The police either weren't able to solve the crime due to a lack of knowledge. Claw and bite marks often led to the assumption of animal attacks rather than murder, or they were hunters themselves. In the end, if they didn't want to attempt the risky life as nomads, Yamaguchi had no choice but to leave his current hive behind. His family. What on the outside looked like a teenage boy leaving for college meant something entirely different for them. He was the firstborn of his parents, and their only child so far, which in itself was fairly uncommon for demons. It was only natural that they feared what would come next. The chances to lose the only cub they had were high. Under ideal circumstances, this wouldn't be a goodbye forever. But the circumstances weren't ideal, and nobody knew if Yamaguchi would survive for long enough to establish a secure position within human society and sharpen his skills. Right now, he was merely an easy target, like a bird with a broken wing. For demons, he was still considered a cub, barely old enough to pass as human without having to restock on energy from his parents every day. He could create his own dark blood now, but it was still weak. For them, suppressing their demon nature was exhausting, and even after over 18 years of training, he was just relieved to spread his wings once he was in the confines of his home again. The home he would have to leave behind. He will move in with his friends. Well, they are practically partners at this point if you ask me. They are nice. I just adore that little ball of sunshine and the way he makes Tadashi smile. I'm sure with them by his side, he will be fine. As long as they don't find out. Yamaguchi's stomach twisted at the thought, and he buried his face deeper into the cushions. Akihiko next to him seemed to sense his struggles even in their sleep and snuggled closer. It was 5 of them in the small nest. All the demon children of the neighborhood, safe and sound with a hive. Demons live in groups to survive and seek out each other's support instinctively. With the day approaching rapidly on which Yamaguchi has to leave the nest permanently, the stress level of everyone was high, and they searched for comfort in each other's vicinity. It helped, as much as it hurt, knowing that it would all be gone soon. He could return one day when it was safer, or start his own hive, or join a different one. All he had to do was to survive his first flight. They are good people. I know, but even good people get scared. A long moment of silence filled the air, and the young demon desperately tried to concentrate on the calm heartbeats of his nestmates and their soothing scents filling the air. A tail wrapped itself around his arm, and he got almost slapped in the face by a carelessly placed wing, but he didn't care. In his younger years, he would hide under the wing of one of the older siblings to avoid getting squashed. Now he was the oldest and protectively held his wing over Akihiko's head. I'm sorry. I'm just worried. I trust Hinata, Kageyama, and Tsukishima. They seem like good kids. And Tadashi deserves to be happy with them, but they are not demons. Yes. He can't keep this from them forever. Not if he's serious about their relationship. But no matter how much they love him, there's simply no guarantee they will understand. No reason to worry about that now. First, he has to get out there and settle into this new life. Nobody can know yet. Nobody could know. It was the sentence every demon cub from the age of 3 could recite effortlessly in their sleep. A crucial rule they had to live by no matter what if they wanted to survive. When Yamaguchi would leave the house tomorrow, he would follow it to the letter. Ugh, I'm done for the day. No, actually, I'm dead. With an exaggerated sigh, the ginger let himself fall onto the couch and onto Tsukishima's lap, who simply lifted the book he was holding slightly, but otherwise paid him no mind, which earned him a whine. What? You want to tell me that you can survive hours of training without getting exhausted, but a few classes immediately kill you? Hinata pouted and glared at Tsukishima, who was still reading his book with faint nonchalance. You would too if you had my professor. You say that about every professor. A smaller huffed, and this time Tsukishima lowered his book and smiled at him. He put it aside and opened his arms, an invitation. Hinata accepted without a second thought, and despite being supposedly mad at the other. Tsukishima's chuckle resonated through the room as he nuzzled his nose in the orange curls and pulled the spiker tighter to his chest. It sparked a by now very familiar, warm feeling within Yamaguchi's chest as he watched them. It's been like this for almost a year now, yet none of them had dared to put a label on it so far. For the most part, it all came so naturally to them that they never even thought about it. Not about the long hugs or cuddles at movie nights, nor the occasional fleeting kisses on cheeks and temples, and sometimes even a quick peck on the lips. Yamaguchi was used to physical displays of affection through hugs and cuddles. It was the #1 love language between demons, yet this felt different. Not because they were human, but because the warmth their touches inflicted was from a different kind of fire. Soothing yet wild, and threatening to grow out of control. It left him blissfully burning with a newfound longing, and lingered even after they were gone. The brief touches became more frequent once they moved in together, and everything just seemed to fall into place, naturally and unbothered. He considered himself lucky. With anyone else, or maybe even worse if he had been alone, the start to his first flight wouldn't have been as easy. They took his mind off the potential horrors, and somehow it seemed as though he instinctively accepted them as his new hive, a new part of his family he would cherish and protect. He was torn from his thoughts when the front door opened once again and Kageyama walked inside, carrying a sports bag over his shoulder and rolling his eyes as Hinata gasped audibly. You were at the gym without me! His tone was accusing, and Yamaguchi couldn't help but chuckle. Yeah, my class got cancelled. You're also mean to me today. Hey, what did I do? All but yams. He quickly corrected himself, got up from the couch and demonstratively clung to Yamaguchi's arm, who laughed. He's my favorite now. Hinata declared it with such sincere determination that he couldn't help but laugh again. It was amplified by the slight twitch of Kageyama's lips and Tsuki, who rolled his eyes again. Fine by me. It very obviously wasn't. Hey, where are you going? Taking a shower. Hurry, I have to talk to you all. It took a moment for the words to sink in. With it came a sudden nervousness. What did he mean by that? What was it he wanted to talk about? Turns out, he wouldn't have to wait for long, because Kageyama did indeed hurry through his shower. He was for sure twice as fast as usual. An awkward silence spread through the room as they waited for someone, Hinata, to say something. But the ginger had suddenly gone quiet. It made the situation all the more eerie and Yamaguchi gulped nervously. So, I just... His face turned from pink to red in a matter of seconds as he stammered incoherent words trying to form a sentence. He looked around as if waiting for one of the others to jump to his rescue, but they were all caught up in their own thoughts, waiting for him to say what none of them dared to verbalize. All but Kageyama, who seemed a little confused by what was going on. I like you. He blurted the words out as his face took increasingly darker shades of red. But despite it all, he simply took a deep breath, straightened his back, and looked at them determined. I like you. All of you. And I like whatever this is we're doing. It's called flirting and making out. The ginger huffed. Well, someone had to say it, and since you're all cowards, I volunteered. Hey, I'm not a coward. Really? This is what you take from this? A warm, fuzzy feeling spread in Yamaguchi's chest as he watched them bicker. He was just like them. Despite the obviously serious topic at hand, after all, Hinata just said what they all have been thinking for a while now. Yet, he was hardly surprised that Kageyama would be sulking because the ginger confessed first. Even Tsukishima seemed to take it with a grain of salt. He chuckled, his own cheeks dusted in a soft shade of pink. So? What? This is usually the part where you tell me that you like me too, and they lived happily ever after. Tsuki rolled his eyes, yet Yams could see his lips twitch into a loving smirk as he cheesed the smaller. I like you too, Shoujo, as more than friends. His heart felt as though it could beat out of his chest, and he felt his face getting hotter, yet the ginger's bright smile made it all worth it. See, Tadashi gets it. He could have fainted right then and there. It wasn't the first time Hinata had called him by his first name, but it for sure didn't happen often, and every time it did, his heart skipped a beat, and he was left a flustered mess. I like you too, idiot. Kageyama's words were mumbled more than anything, and he avoided eye contact, his cheeks bright red. The blonde next to him sighed. Well, I guess it's pretty obvious what my answer to all this is. Oh, come on, it wouldn't hurt you to say it. Regardless, what does that make us? What do you hope to accomplish with this confession? We can't all date each other now, can we? Surprised, Yamaguchi faltered. He had completely forgotten that polygamy wasn't exactly common among humans. For demons, it was the preferred type of relationship and the most common among his kind. A bitter taste assembled in his mouth as he thought about it. It reminded him painfully they still didn't know. He was still alone in this, and getting more serious with them without them knowing felt like a betrayal. Like He was betraying them. He gulped. Why not? I don't mind, do you? If I kiss you, or Yams, or Kags. I didn't bother anyone so far, so let's keep it that way. He grinned widely. I don't see any reason why we can't all be boyfriends. Tsukishima looked like he wanted to argue, but couldn't. He searched his mind for a reason not to, but ultimately they were all insufficient. Hinata was right. A rarity. He didn't mind seeing him, or Yamaguchi or Kageyama for that matter, with each other, even though he cared for each of them greatly. He loved to see them happy, and they made each other happy, just like he, for some unknown reason. He nodded slowly as Kageyama just shrugged his shoulders, indifferent to the concept of polygamy, yet still very much flustered by his confession and the idea of dating them. So do you want this to be like an open relationship? Because I don't think I would feel comfortable if we date and one of you would also date someone else. I don't know. Hinata shook his head. No, I mean, I thought it could be just the four of us. I really like you, and I don't want to choose between you, but since you like each other as well, there's no reason to, right? He was so blunt about it, almost as though he was oblivious to their continuously darkening blushes. I would be fine with that, if you are, that is. He glanced at Yamaguchi and Kageyama briefly before focusing on the book he still held in hand. Me too. Kageyama nervously scratched the back of his neck and avoided eye contact. With him and Tsukishima convinced, all attention was suddenly on Yamaguchi. He nodded slowly, fighting his quickly tightening throat and the stinging in his eyes. I would love that. I really would. His voice almost broke. It was true. Every bit of it was true. He loved them. Yet, that was exactly what terrified him. What if they found out? What if they didn't? He had to tell them, now more than ever, but his muscles were paralyzed by fear. The words getting stuck on their way out and his tongue suddenly too heavy to move as if it had turned to lead. Great! I love you guys. He smiled, his typical bright smile, bright enough to replace the sun itself, before happily leaving for his room, chanting, I got 3 boyfriends, all the way. He left the others behind in stunned silence. Kageyama fumbled nervously with his hands and looked at them, still a bit confused. So, boyfriends? Yeah, seems like it. The blonde burst out laughing, surprising them both as they stared at him, worried he might have lost his mind. This is so like him. The way he just said it. I love him. He sighed and smiled. It was a rare sight, yet neither Kageyama nor Yamaguchi could deny that they thrived on these rare moments when for once Tsuki showed his true emotions without hiding behind a mask or snarky comments. And I love you too, you know. So, yeah, boyfriends. Why not? Kageyama blushed further, and at the lack of words hesitantly reached his hand out for Tsukishima's, who accepted it but laughed again. This is making you nervous? This? Even after we made out? Shut up. I was drunk, that doesn't count. So, would you like to repeat it when it counts? Kageyama answered his teasing smirk with a scowl, and all Yamaguchi could do was observe them while hopelessly trying to deny how much he loved this. How much he loved them. Their bickering and teasing, Kageyama's sometimes clumsy attempts to communicate, and even Tsukishima's stubbornness. His heart ached, torn between love and guilt. He gulped. I will leave you to that. But I still have to finish an assignment, so yeah, see you later. He tried, more or less successfully, to make it sound lighthearted as he slowly stepped back and walked toward his room. It wasn't even a complete lie. The assignment wasn't due for another week, but he still had one. Half an hour after he started studying, a knock at the door broke his concentration, which admittedly barely existed to begin with. Surprised, he looked up to find Tsuki opening the door slowly. Hey. Silence spread through the room, yet they knew each other for too long for it to feel awkward. As he walked inside and sat down on his bed. Are you okay? Huh? Yeah, of course. Why are you asking? He looked at the taller confused as his brows furrowed in what he knew was concern. He had seen that look a million times before, even when he tried to hide it, especially when it came to the reckless idiots. Now, it was about him. You seemed off before. If something is bothering you, if you don't want this, you have to tell us. His eyes widened. No, that's not it. I swear, He stammered the words nervously, unsure how to reassure him while not lying to him. Tadashi, it's okay. If we're going to fast for you, that's okay. But you have to tell us. We want to make this work, but it only does if we talk and if everyone is comfortable. Okay, I swear that's not it. Yeah, it was sudden. No surprise with Hinata, but I want you. All of you. I wasn't even surprised when Sho suggested polygamy. I always thought that's where we would end up. Maybe that was foolish. It was foolish to bring demon customs into the real world. Not just that, it was dangerous. If anyone figured it out, he was as good as dead. No, it wasn't. As you see, that's what we want too. He paused. If it's not that, Yams, what is going on? It's nothing, really. Just a little stress in school. They aren't bullying you again, are they? Because I've seen you stressed because of assignments, and this isn't it. No, I'm not getting bullied. Would be pathetic if I still couldn't stand up for myself, wouldn't it? No, it would not. Yamaguchi, if there's someone bothering... They're not. No one is. I'm fine. He avoided Tsukishima's stern glare, pretending to be very invested in the assignment. If it's not that, then what is it? Why are you... He sighed. Don't try to tell me it's nothing. I've known you for years, and it's not nothing. I care, okay? I might have been an idiot in the past, but I care. Please tell me what's going on. I can't. I'm sorry. Silence filled the room again. He could hear Tsukishima's every breath and the defeated sigh as he got up to leave. Are you in danger? No. Not more than usual. The blonde nodded slowly. Are you afraid of something? He hesitated. Yes. Something regarding us, our relationship. Yes. Again, a nod. If you need time to figure things out, that's fine. Just please talk to us soon, okay? promise me that you will tell us if anything bad happens. He turned his back toward the taller, not wanting him to see the glossy veil, suddenly blurring his vision. Okay, I promise. It was a promise, not just to him, but also to himself. He trusted them. He had to tell them eventually. He loved them, wanted to be with them, and to accomplish that, there was simply no other way. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I hope you liked it. It's a little demon Haikyuu, yay! I'm so excited for this one. Yeah, the next parts will come out very soon. Actually, next one's supposed to come out tomorrow, and so on. It's gonna be 3 altogether. And yeah, they also gonna get increasingly more angsty and a little bit spooky because Halloween. And yeah, if you liked it, consider leaving a like, because it really helps my channel grow. And if you don't want to miss out on anything in the future, consider subscribing. And now I hope you have a wonderful and amazing day, because you are amazing and you deserve it.